Okay, so I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, hey, when you said you weren't going to be doing any more reviews on pre-built keyboards, that you expected no more reviews on pre-built keyboards. But yeah, there's a reason why we're doing one today. Hello everyone, welcome back to KeyBound. Welcome back to another review video, and today we are going to be reviewing this keyboard. This is the Kemove 1980 K87. It's basically their TKL. And why are we reviewing this one today? The reason being is because I originally wasn't going to be doing any more reviews for pre-built keyboards, as you guys know. And then Kemove, the same guys who gave me the switch and keycap spooler, they reached out and said, hey, would you like to review one of our keyboards? And being one of the first companies to really support this channel, especially in its infancy, I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. You know, I had to say yes. And so here we are. Here we are, the Kemove 1980 K87. And yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. This is not a terrible keyboard. I've been using it for a little bit here and there, and it's not bad. It's tri-mode PCB, you know, it's in stock and it's relatively cheap. I believe you can get it right now for about $100. There are 3 colors to choose from. This blue, which is really, really nice, a white and a black. I don't know, it's for $100, I feel like there are some better keyboards out there. You know, this comes with Gateron Reds, which if you've ever used the Gateron Red switch before, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. The keyboard itself is not super thocky or clacky. It does seem to lean towards the clacky side, but if you guys do know, and if you've ever built keyboards before, you know that plastic keyboards, which is what this one is, they don't really go for the clack too well. You kind of want an aluminum case to really accentuate that nice resonant clack. This is like a weird in-between. That's not to say it's a bad keyboard to use, right? Now, it is tri-mode, so you do get wireless Bluetooth and USB dongle, as well as the wired option, so that's really, really cool. And this has been pretty good in terms of day-to-day, right? So like, I've been gaming on this keyboard and it's totally fine. It actually, if anything, is actually a slightly better gaming keyboard than my Mode Sonnet. And that's largely just because it's designed to be an all-rounder versus my Mode Sonnet, which is really more my daily typer. This is also just good for typing, right? The keycaps are pretty nice, just, you know, your typical die sub PBT. Now, the thing that I do really like about the keycaps is that even though these are cheap keycaps, right? These are relatively cheap keycaps, but there's no weird inconsistencies in the build quality, which is like really interesting. Because if you were to like go on Etsy or eBay or Amazon and buy yourself, you know, a $30 set of keycaps, like chances are what you're, and honestly, this even happens in the upper ranges too, like $70, $100 keycaps. You sometimes will find these little, like, you'll get certain keycaps that are just like off-centered or tilted or not cut right. And there's none of that going on here. So to be perfectly honest, I will have to say I do give a lot of credit to Kemove and their ability to give us like a really nice die sub PBT keycap set. Now, granted, it's not the highest quality PBT, you know, it's not like the Keychron profile PBT, or, you know, it's nowhere near the GMK double shot ABS keycap, but they're actually, they're decently nice to use, and to the point where I feel like I'll probably actually pull them off and use it for a different build, because they're a pretty generic keyboard set without any crazy images or anything like that, or some weird words. So definitely good to use. Now, as far as just living with it goes, it's pretty nice. Like, it's relatively light, so it's definitely something that you can take to work. There's no crazy weights or anything, but this is a keyboard that, like, and this is the reason why I don't really like reviewing full pre-built keyboards. And it's largely just because you can really tell that the company only really wants you to customize 2 things, and that's the keycaps and the switches. And that's about it. There's really not much more customization that can go on when it comes to things like the foam or the plate or the stabilizers. Like, you can there's a way to open this keyboard, and I've tried, but it's really, really difficult, and I think I might have broken a few things in it. So we'll probably not attempt that in the future anymore. And yeah, it's just one of those things where you just feel like, okay, yeah, they're limiting you here, just don't push any harder. And that's just the way it goes. So that's a little disappointing. I like being able to customize the things that I use, especially when it comes to keyboards, and not being able to do things like mod it a little bit more or add or remove foam or things like that is a little disappointing. And I feel like this is really kind of where these sort of keyboards fall short. This is not inherent to the Kemove K87 at all. This is just mostly inherent in the majority of pre-built keyboards and base kits out there. Now, of course, you have some exceptions like the K87 or any of the Keycrons, but for the most part, any cheap plastic keyboard that you're gonna get that's pre-built, yeah. But other than that though, it is a pretty decent set. If you are looking for something that's solid, that's not gonna rattle, that's really not going to like be difficult to work with, and that, you know, gives you options in terms of connectivity, this is actually a pretty good option to go for. It's cheap, you know, at about $100. Again, they're in stock, so you can get it really, really quickly. It looks nice. It does look really, really nice. I think it's actually a really good looking keyboard. It's got some cool badges on the side. It's got like a badge in the back. And yeah, again, keycaps are just really, really nice to use. The stabilizers are tuned actually surprisingly well. And it's a relatively pleasant keyboard experience if you're not gonna build it yourself. And so yeah, let's check out what this sounds like. Not much thok, not much clack, kind of a weird in between. I think a lot of it is really just due to the Gatoron Reds. I personally don't really like Gatoron switches. I feel like they're just very dull in terms of sound. There's not much personality with them. If you were to throw in some like HMX switches or something like that, you know, I think it would sound a lot better. But now granted, now all of a sudden your HMX switches will almost be the cost of the keyboard. So, but if you are looking for a keyboard that, you know, straight from the box is good to use, feels comfortable to use, has RGB and multi-connectivity, you can't really go wrong with this keyboard. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you all in the next one.